have to put my goggles on now?
Yep. Dude, didn't you get the memo?
I didn't. All right, hit the button.
Hell to pay. We're on.
Oh, hi, welcome to Car Goggles.
Welcome to Car Goggles.
I am Mark.
I'm Juan.
I'm looking at the wrong place. So we talked about Acura.
If you saw the other two videos, there's two videos before this for Acura Part 1, Acura Part 2, and our new Car Goggles rating system, which I'll cover briefly. We got a 0 to 10 cars.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being, of course, fantastic. 0 being 0. And so what we're going to do is rate whatever, whether it be a manufacturer, a product, or a car itself. And then we're also going to use that same rating system to cover maybe the past. So some things were great in the past and they suck now, and some things were terrible in the past and they're great now. So it'll be a past, present, and future score. So sometimes companies make changes, and we want to, of course, recognize that, because it's always about what's now. If somebody's making changes, they get something coming out later on that's great. We're going to cover that. So past, present, future, 0 to 10 cars is going to be our Car Goggle rating system. Today we're going to talk about Audi. Thanks again for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Mark?
Oh, nice lead-in.
Yeah, that was good. We're getting great.
Yeah, we're super good.
High five. Wait, hold on. We had it. All right.
So I'd like to talk about Audi's past, because I actually really like Audi's past.
Really?
Even though, the unintended acceleration and things like that, all that stuff, I actually thought they had some pretty cool cars, and they had a lot of character, and they had a lot of wagons, and
a lot of Avants.
they had a lot of Avants. So Audi was kind of a cool car line, and they had their own direction, and they came out with limited production vehicles. Like they had an RS6 for 1 year. Couple years.
Yes.
But one of them was for 1 year.
Yes.
They had wagons they had an RS6 Avant.
S6 Avant.
S6 Avant, like I said. He knows a lot more about Audi than I do.
It's okay.
So they had some really cool one-off stuff. And that was before they had this big corporate culture where they got bought out a bunch of other companies. So now Volkswagen owns Volkswagen, of course, Porsche, Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, Bugatti, Skoda, Seat, man. I just like saying that, man. So they had a lot of car lines. So everything's got to fit together in terms of platforms and all that. And it just seems like in the past, maybe Audi wasn't nearly as successful financially, but they had a little bit more character. I
just realized something.
What's that?
We're going to have to do 3 ports, and I meant to say 3 parts.
3 ports.
To Audi, because just covering the past, and we're not going deep into the past, we're just going into the, late 90s, early 2000s, the present and the future. This is going to require 3 parts. So you, my lucky viewer, are in store. What do you got? You're something in store.
You've got delights in store for
Delights in store, because you've got a 3-parter coming up for Audi. I just realized on the fly. That's how we like to do things here.
Let's say you're watching The Sopranos, right? Because you're watching Sopranos now.
I'm a little
late. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, the whole series is over. And then you realize, wait a minute, there's a season that I didn't know was out there. An extra season. That's delightful.
Exactly.
That would make your whole day.
And that's what we're trying to bring to you, is a little bit of entertainment for your time, I guess.
For your buck.
For your dollar. This is free, so that's another bonus.
And I think it's worth it.
Yes.
So, I think... so in terms of Audi's past, in terms of the Car Goggle rating system...
Yes.
I would give it, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, because you have a lot more to say about it than I do.
Yes.
I would give Audi's past a solid 7.
Solid 7.
So can you put that into the books?
Archives here.
Good.
7.
Yeah. What would you say about Audi's past?
So I'm going to go Audi's past, and I'm going a little further back. before they got into the A4, because the A4s got them turned around here in the American market after.
Oh, that sure did.
Because the Audi Quattro, the original Audi Quattro, the 5000, or the Quattro before the 5000, was a cool car. They were one of the first few manufacturers that were really getting into the aero side, really aerodynamic car for fuel efficiency.
1980.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they had some issues. If you don't know about it, Google it. We don't have time to get into that, but when they took a beating in the American car market, and what got them going again was the new A4, which would have been introduced in the late 80s. But before that, some of their cars were, if you think about BMW's older cars, Mercedes' older cars, there's some classic, very cool cars in there. Audi, in my opinion, does not have that. Their cars are really, I don't know, they lacked a little bit of something. I don't know what it was. Maybe in my eye, because I like to see a certain amount of style in a vehicle, those cars weren't very stylish back then. So as far as old classic Audis, the newer stuff got much better, but they were still kind of leading the market with aerodynamics and use of aluminum. They came out with the first space frame in the late 80s, and everyone uses that now. Ford went to aluminum use in their F-150, and you can almost hear all the country boys losing their minds. Make America great again.
It's not aluminum.
So, it's not aluminum. It's some form of faux steel. But, they were way ahead of their time when it came to aluminum use. They didn't get enough credit for that, but everyone's using that now. Weight savings and efficiency being a big deal nowadays because of fuel economy. But yeah, Audi with the A4, when they really start taking off in the American car market again, you got the A4, the A6, and the A8. They had three main sort of cars back then, and then they introduced the TT a little bit after that, which is a cool,
that was
great
super
car,
cool.
right?
Super cool.
Because if we go back at some of our older videos, that the TT. We talked about concept cars going from concept to reality. The TT is one of the very few cars that looks almost exactly like the original concept car.
And that was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
That was some of the best styling
yes.
of any car, and they kept it.
And here's another thing, and here's a quick tip for you car collector types. That car is going to come back around. You can buy them dirt cheap right now. Years from now, that will be an absolute classic because the styling and the look of that car and everything that they put into it was unbelievable for what they cost these days. A little four-cylinder turbo motor, fantastic, all-wheel drive coupe, hatchback, by the way. So to digress a little bit, if you're a collector, go look that up later on. But early on, my score for Audi, and I'm just going to go in the late 80s, early 90s here. I'm going to say I'll give them a good solid 7. Ooh, that's another 7.
There's another 7.
Yeah.
Add those up. That's almost 20.
That's almost 20.
Yeah.
So that's part 1, and I know that was kind of rushed, but we want to just kind of get started. Look for part 2 coming up on car goggles.
Audi's current situation.
The current or the present, because we're not talking about electric cars, because that would have been a perfect segue. Current present. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. I'm Juan.
I'm Mark.
And we are Car Goggles.